Hello, welcome to On Location with Murray and our man Jeff back there. And we have a special guest today, Jesse Church from Aberdeen Glen, my favorite local course. And actually, it's a can I say it? It's a championship course.
Championship course of the North, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. Eh?
Yeah,
It's a tough course too.
very tough course, and we have a lot of people that come in from not only out of town but out of province, out of country that are very surprised at us having, like Prince George having that quality of golf course, just because so far away from any major center, right?
Yeah, and see, we're lucky to have a guy like you and your family that created that course. So we'd love to dive back into that after
yeah,
we tell you.
can do that for sure. Yeah.
Okay, 'cause you're the pro now.
Yep.
The course, and your grandpa started the course. We'll get to that, but we want to get to know you. Like, I'm friends with you, but we don't all know you. So
Yeah, no, I'm.
where were you born? Where are you?
Yeah, so born in actually in Richmond, British Columbia, because my grandma lived down there and she was a nurse, so we went down there. Me and both my sisters were actually born down there, because then it gave mom and dad a little bit of recoup time with family around.
Nice.
And then came back up here. I've always lived in Prince George. That's always been kind of the family's base of operations. I lived in Belize for a couple of years. My grandpa and my dad had a water treatment type plan thing
I
that
didn't
they
know
went
that.
over there. Yeah, they
Cool.
bid on it. This was about 5 years before the golf course opened.
Yeah.
So they bid on that, and we went over there and we put in a full water and sewer system. Or they did. I was 5.
That's cool though.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Good
You just
experience.
picked up at 4 or 5 years old and shipped literally halfway around the world.
Yeah.
So it was a
Big
ton of
culture
fun.
shock, probably.
Pardon? A little bit of culture shock, but you know what? At that point, like, obviously not old enough to remember all of it, but talking with my family and everybody that was there at the time, there was, as much as there was culture shock, it's also, when you're that young, there's just kind of a universal fun, right, that
Yeah.
you just get to have.
Yeah.
So, and then after that, the golf course opened up shortly after that.
When you were around 10? Did I do my math
Opened
right?
opened in '99, yeah. So I
99,
was I was 8 that time, because I'm a late '90s baby. And then so we celebrated our 25th anniversary last year. So we're in
okay.
year 26 and still going strong right now.
I like it, buddy.
Yeah.
So you've had golf in your life, your whole life, pretty much.
Yeah. Since the age of I would say probably since the age of 10 was when I started to get really into it. And to be honest with you, if the family wouldn't have gone down that road, I don't think it would have even registered on my radar.
Yeah.
Like I was 8, 9 years old. It's not like I was, you hear about these young guys that are on the tour and everything like that, and they're like, oh, I knew at 4 years old that that's what I wanted to do. I started hitting balls at 2. I was never on that radar.
Yeah.
So
We must have been pretty good at a young age. Eh? But picking up. a
no,
club at 10.
I didn't start playing competitively till I was, and competitively is a very relative term, till I was 15 or 16.
Really? Eh?
Yeah, I mean, I started playing when I was 10 or 11. That's when the golf bug kind of bit me. But it was never. I mean, as you know from being a competitive athlete, a little bit different. You were team sports, but there's not, unless you're going to travel down to the hubs like Vancouver and to Edmonton, Calgary, right? There's not really a whole pile of exposure.
Yeah.
And there's not that many events that'll come up here. Usually you've got to travel for those events, and I wasn't really, until 15, 16, wasn't really hopped up on it, so we just never really went down that road. I played junior events here. There used to be events in Williams Lake and Quesnel and stuff like that, and I just kind of went into them because that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But once I turned 15, 16, I started to get a little bit more serious about it, because my goal at that point was obviously wanted to play professionally, but I wanted to become a club pro as well.
Nice.
Yeah, so through the PGA of Canada and everything like that. So at the time there was a certain metric that you had to be able to
Nice.
do for playing.
And you reached your goal now.
I've reached that goal.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
absolutely.
So can you take us, like, from 15, 16, you're playing tournaments. How did you become who you are now? How'd you get there? And Q school, did you go to Q?
I
you
did go.
to
I
Q
did go to
school?
Q school. Yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
when I was 15, 16.
Two questions at once.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So 15, 16, I kind of made the decision I wanted to be a pro, because I knew that as long as the golf course was in the family, I was going to somehow be tied to the world of golf. And I figured at that time, I want to teach. I love teaching. You and I share that passion a little bit.
Yeah.
Want to teach, and I want to help people get better. As much as I wanted to get better, I also loved that side of it. So that was just the kind of the smartest way to go about this. So I graduated high school, had to wait a year because again I was a late birthday, and then the following year I went and declared my intention to turn professional, which is what you have to do for the PGA Canada. Essentially, you just have to sign up for one of their tournaments to do that, and so I did that. Didn't get it the first year. I went to 2 different places. Didn't get it the first year, and then the second year.
Make the cut or something?
So at the time, you had to shoot a certain score over what the course is rated at.
Okay.
So like Aberdeen, from the white tee boxes, were a par 73, but our rating is, I think we're 71.
So you have to play a 71 or better?
So you have to play, no, so it was like 7 over par each day. So I think it was a total of 15 over par, 15 over the course rating.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be 80, it'd be 77.
Okay.
Or sorry, 78 is what I would have to shoot. So 2 under
I see.
that mark. So I didn't get it the first 2 times, but then I went to Williams Lake and got it on the number. So I turned pro basically. Yeah, I turned pro basically right out of high school, which hindsight,
amazing.
Which is, I mean, there's turning pro and there's turning pro, right? I mean, hindsight, we probably could have went a different way and done college golf and done all that kind of stuff.
Got
but
more
again,
experience first.
absolutely, right? And you know, maybe there was a path to the professional ranks, like the tour ranks, through that venue. But my mentality with being in the north and everything like that was, nope, I got to turn pro so I can start playing on the Vancouver Golf Tour, which I did, and go through it that way. Yeah, which was amazing. I've got 1 career win, and it's on the Vancouver Golf Tour. So
do you really? Nice.
There's a winter tour event, 1-day event at Sandpiper, and I got it done. And that was actually after I went to Q school a couple of times and didn't get through, and I kind of came back, and that was when my now wife and I started dating. Kim, started dating, and she's like, just go down. It's a 1-day thing. Drive down, play, come back, whatever. So I did, and wound up winning it, and wound up chasing my tail for a couple more years trying to play competitively,
awesome.
and then the rest is history from there.
Oh, that's awesome. So is that where you met? We could segue right now into the
absolutely.
TV show, the guys from down south, like Nathan and those guys?
Yeah, so Nathan and I go back, oh my goodness, that's going to be 12 or 13 years now. So Nathan Lenhart, who runs the Tour Development Academy, that was I believe they were the golf consultants. Is that what their official title was?
Yeah.
For the show that you're going to be making an appearance in, Stick.
With Owen Wilson in it?
With Owen Wilson and a bunch of PGA Tour players as well.
So that was all because of you. Actually, and Jeff, too, in a roundabout way.
Oh, nice.
It was because you saw Nathan post the positions.
For sure, yeah.
And then he would have hired you in an instant, obviously, because you're his buddy.
Yeah.
And then you handed it off to me and said, well, I got a guy for you. And you sent him one of my commercials that Jeff and I made.
One of our Aberdeen ones.
Aberdeen.
Yeah, absolutely. And he said, get this guy my info now.
Nice.
Because he was very, because you fit that, and I haven't seen any of the show yet. I've seen the teaser trailer, which they're hiding the best for last. They haven't shown you yet.
Exactly.
But you know, he kind of said he fits the mold that we're looking for, which was awesome. But no, Nathan and I met, about 12, 13 years ago when I was first looking at moving down to Arizona to play competitively. And he was a guy that had played on the Canadian Tour, on the PGA Tour China.
Oh wow! So he was a good player.
He's a stick for sure.
Yeah, is he? Nice.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
So I had gotten hooked up with him through a mutual connection through the PGA, and when I had gone down on kind of a scouting trip when I was moving down, he was playing out of Scottsdale, just outside of Phoenix, and him and I got together, and I kind of picked his brain for a little bit, and got to know him a little bit through there. And then he actually wound up driving down with me the first year that I went down in 2013
to Arizona.
Yeah, because I stayed in Vancouver the first night, and then drove down from there. And he came down with me. He was meeting up with some buddies in LA and everything like that. So he drove down, and then him and I just kind of stayed in contact since then.
Nice. Super nice guy.
Oh, great dude.
Yeah,
very, very good. And I'm very happy to see him and all of his team there doing very, very well. To transition from a player to a very high-end, very good coach is very fun to see.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah. Well, thanks to you. Thank you
for
hooking me up, and I got this experience that's supposed to be coming out June 4th. The show's coming out. Stick on Apple TV with Owen Wilson. 3 episodes, and then it's an episode a week.
Perfect.
And we're
I'm excited.
10. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, man.
There's some good. There's this guy, Steve. I don't know if I know how to pronounce his last name. Lecuyer, Lecuyer.
Mhm.
Whatever,
Steve, yeah.
however
I
pronounce
know,
it.
I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about.
He's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, he's a fellow PGA of Canada member as well. I played against, not against him, but he was in the national championship for the assistants the last couple of years because it's been
Okay.
close to the West Coast, Alberta last year. Or sorry, Alberta in 23 and in Langley in
Oh, nice.
24. Yeah.
Okay, is that the one he won? He's won 2 of those. I don't know if it was the local one or the national.
He
one.
won. I think he won the local one. I think he won
Okay.
the BC assistants.
Okay, yeah, I think that's the one.
Yeah, I think he won
Stud,
that
though.
last year. Yeah. Oh, it's really, really good player. Yeah.
I think he's won 2 times. I
Oh,
believe.
at least.
Yeah, the local pros. So
Yeah.
on the show, there's Owen Wilson, and he had a bunch of local PGA,
Yeah.
PGA Canadian guys.
Yeah, yeah.
So stud golfers within Canada.
Yeah.
And then there's 4. I can't mention names. I don't think. Maybe I can, but
They've shown. I think
They've shown it.
they've,
Oh,
they've
yeah.
alluded to it, but I wouldn't. Don't let the cat out of it. You don't want to
Yeah,
go full Tom Holland or Mark Ruffalo here.
yeah, exactly. So 4 Pro Tour PGA Tour pros.
Yeah.
Bunch of Canadian pros, and they talk really highly of Steve.
Yeah,
Just
he's
how
a
good he is.
very good dude and very good player too. Yeah, I remember you texting me when you were down there because they were doing a bunch of takes with Owen or something like that,
Yeah.
and it was you and PGA Tour Pro A, and,
Yeah.
and you were taking a lot. He was like, "Yeah, this is just how you do that," and you were like, "Thank you so much, even beyond the acting thing. This is phenomenal to
Yeah.
learn from these guys, right?"
It really was an
So
amazing
that's awesome.
experience.
Speaking of which, nice date pick on Saturday at the Masters for us to be doing this sit down.
Oh yeah, sorry, buddy. Yeah, my bad.
I picked
my
the
bad.
time. I picked the time.
Yeah,
It's all right.
perfect. Thank you.
Probably
Yeah.
better that I'm not watching it. I'd be throwing stuff at the TV at this point.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, so that was 2.5 weeks on set, and I
Yeah.
worked on my chip and putt
Yeah, yeah.
for 8 to 10 hours a day. So
Yeah.
we're there for almost 15 hours a day,
Yeah,
and only on camera once in a while.
yeah,
And those lessons from pro player A
yeah, yeah,
made a huge difference. So I came back to Aberdeen after that. My long game was off.
yeah.
My long irons off the tee was a little off, but I shot 39 on the back nine
Yeah, it's a good round.
and like a
Yeah,
44 on the front or something. But I was still
83 is
good. because
fine.
My short
Yeah.
game and my putting was so
Yeah.
much better. It made my game way better. So once I matched it again,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and even if you just watch those guys, like, especially up close, like I had the opportunity, like when I lived down there, you know, I would, there was a couple of players that I know you know, I don't know how big of a fan of golf Jeff is, but
not the hugest one.
not the
Yeah.
biggest one, but so I had the luxury of practicing alongside, not with or anything like that, but with like Adam Hadwin.
Nice.
Nick Taylor was there for a couple of weeks because he would come in with one of the coaches that were at the course that I was at, and he would spend some time there. And watching those guys, they would come out, they would spend 4 or 5 hours there, maybe 90 minutes to 2 hours would be full swing. The other 3 is just all around the greens, hitting wedge shots, all of that kind of stuff. That's where they make their money. So just to be around that, you get so much better.
Yeah.
Like
that's
even
so
just
true.
watching, oh, that's cool. Okay, got it. I've been doing that wrong my whole life,
Yeah.
right? So
Even if
for-
it just looks so basic too. You're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh, they do that. Oh, wow.
super simple.
Yeah.
Oh, they're not trying to do 9 different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was. I know I learned a lot just by being around that kind
Yeah.
of situation.
Me too. I love it. I want to be more involved in that. That's that brings me into like my perspective.
Yeah, yeah.
The average Joe getting into golf.
Average Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And which is kind of my character with.
That's what I. Yeah. That's why I was laughing.
Yeah,
Gumboot Joe. Yeah.
Good times. Those good commercials.
Very good
Yeah.
commercials.
Thanks to Jeff. Too.
Oh, I was gonna say that's all thanks to Big
Yeah.
Jeff there.
Yeah. Yeah. And Ian was a natural.
Ian did very well. So was
Yeah.
his kid.
Yeah.
Meryl
yeah.
was awesome on there. Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. I'd love to have them on here too.
And
Maybe,
Shota.
yeah.
Shota was good.
Shota and
Yeah.
Johnny Smash.
Johnny Smash was good.
Yeah.
Oh, and Ian's wife was in it as
Oh,
well.
yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah,
right.
one
I
of
forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah, you had a good group there. That was.
That was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm living in Vancouver a lot now, so we can't really do much this summer. Maybe.
Maybe. I
some
mean, if you're
one-off
back,
things.
yeah, we'll do definitely.
Maybe we'll plan stuff and I'll come up for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could do that.
Still a resident.
Jeff's
Prince
nodding
George.
yes. He's good with it.
Yeah,
Perfect.
nice. Still a resident PG officially, but I have to spend a lot of time in Vancouver.
Yeah. Well, that's good. We were talking about that before we came on. That's good
Yeah.
for you,
Yeah, that's true.
right? It's all opportunity, right? I mean, you and I talked about that with the stick thing, right? Like it was an
Yeah.
opportunity for you to, hey, even if this one doesn't work out, there's probably getting your
Exactly.
name out there. Like Nathan knows everybody.
Oh,
It seems like.
yeah.
So all of a sudden it turns into, hey, no, I'm doing a commercial for this. You know who you should talk to?
Boom.
This guy.
Yeah.
Here's his whatever. Right? It's creating a community right? Like as much as we talk, it's a bit of a buzzword right now, but
Mhm.
for you, especially, again, it's the being in the north thing. There's not as many opportunities,
Unfortunately,
right?
yeah.
Which sucks, right?
Yeah.
And anything that kind of comes up here kind of gets not sidelined, but kind of okay. Well, that's great, but it came out of the north, so we're
Yeah.
just gonna kind of do this, right? But for you to create that community and have those opportunities now, right? With
It's true.
doing a
Lucky.
goofy commercial for a local golf course and all of a sudden, or for a hot dog on a stick
Yeah.
place, right? Like doing that kind of
That was
stuff.
our first one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it was awesome, right? And you just brought that character over,
Yeah.
and that character is what got you, in my opinion, is what got you the spot
Yeah,
with
thanks.
Stick, because that's who they were looking for.
Yeah.
We want a dude who looks like he has no business being there,
Yeah.
but fits in perfectly.
Yeah, nice.
Right? And
Yeah.
and when Nathan posted that, I was like, you know what? If I could do it, I'd be down there. Because I'd played, done all that kind of stuff, but you were the guy that had the ability to do it.
Thanks,
That's
buddy.
what you were doing. So
Yeah, appreciate it. And
no, absolutely.
I'm just grateful I could unplug for those 2.5 weeks and go. That's the hardest thing about acting.
For you, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to always talk about myself when it comes to this, but when it comes around to it, that's the hardest thing about acting is paying your bills. Because like, if I'm like, hey Jesse, can I work at the club, buddy? But yeah. Okay, you need to be here 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I can't make it tomorrow. Oh, I'm off for 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
Ah.
Hey, I just got a job that's going to pay me this much. I
Yeah.
got to go for 2.5 weeks, right?
That's the
And
problem. That's the hard part.
It's brutal, and I know
Yeah.
that you've got to, maybe not as much now, but I know that you do have some, some connections in town with some friends and family
Yeah.
and stuff that you're able to do that, which
Yeah, thank God.
is fantastic,
Yeah.
right? It gives you all the opportunity in the world to go down and do that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Well, enough about me. Let's get more about you. The tournaments. So, average Joe Murray Laidlaw. I can sign up for tournaments at Aberdeen. There's some cool ones. Eh?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So we've got the ones that we put on, right? We've got the Ironman, which is the 2-man scramble from the very back tees to absolutely insane pin positions, which is a ton of fun. We sell that out every year. That's kind of where golf is trending to, actually. And
Really?
as a solo competitor for so long, it's kind of sad to see. But a lot of golf courses are getting away from that men's open style.
Really? Okay.
I can guarantee, if I sign up for a 2-man event, I can guarantee that I'm going to play with at least one person that I know
Yeah.
the entire time, right?
Yeah.
And I don't have to rely on just my golf ball the entire time. So I can have fun,
nice.
have a couple of pops, right? And enjoy myself.
Everybody
right?
loves it.
Oh,
Just
it's
talk about it every year.
it's easily our most successful tournament.
Yeah.
And then right after that, or sorry, like 3 weeks after that, we have the ladies 2-ball, which again is kind of where, especially for Aberdeen. I mean, there's a lot of ladies that it's an intimidating golf course for good players, but there's trees, there's hills, that kind of stuff. It's just compared to a Prince George Golf and Curling Club or an Aspen.
You could spray it.
You can hit it anywhere and not really, and it's longer, right? So there's quite a few ladies that are intimidated by it, and for good reason. So we do a ladies 2-ball, which is similar to the Ironman. We just don't make it as tough,
Yeah.
right? But it's still
The pin placements.
2 persons, a lot safer
It's
than
actually
what
you're
the
like
Ironman is.
on the crest of a hill.
Oh,
or
yeah.
right near the edge.
Yeah. That would actually be a write that one down, Jeff, because that'd be have you go out after the tournament out there,
And
sneak
play
out
those.
and play those pins, and then come in and complain about it or something like that.
that'd be a really good
that'd be
one to do.
awesome. Yeah.
That'd be
funny.
really cool because Ian
Yeah.
talked about it last year too, to bring Jeff in to like fly the course to show how beautiful it is. Maybe
Yeah,
we
yeah.
do both at once or 2 separate or something.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
that'd be a cool idea if we can
Okay.
facilitate it.
All right, we'll loop in on that.
Yeah, I like
loop
it.
back on- yeah.
And then our individual tournament, our men's open, which is third weekend in July.
Oh, the 4. Is it the 4-man?
No, that's we don't do. No, that's the Brown Ridge.
Oh, Browners. Yeah,
Um,
that's popular too.
That's very popular. So that's a 4-man Ironman.
Okay.
So from the very back tees, absolutely insane pin positions. And we do one of the days at Aberdeen and one of the days down at the PG Golf and Curling Club.
Okay.
So showing a little bit of unity in the community.
That's cool.
Which is something that 10 years ago I would have told you would never happen.
Oh, really?
There used to be a very hard divide between the players that played it, and not all of them, but a majority of them. That I only play at PG. I will only play at PG. I will never go up to Aberdeen. I will only play at Aberdeen. I will never go to PG. Right? And it was it's silly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people were pledging their kind of allegiance, and then now, I don't know if I should say this on camera, but the best thing to ever happen to the golf industry as a whole was when COVID hit.
Oh yeah, I got
Super popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was it's the only sport that encourages social distancing.
Yeah.
Right?
true
I
that.
can't stand right next to you. I'm not trying to hit you. I'm not trying to take something out of your hands.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, even something like volleyball where you're playing on
Yeah.
opposite sides of the net, you still at some point you're going to be touching something that somebody else has touched.
Yep.
Right? Or you're up at the net where somebody else is breathing on you. Right? So we saw a huge spike in popularity, and it hasn't really. We've started to notice a bit of a drop, but it's nothing that's unconquerable. Let's put it
Nice,
that
yeah.
way, right? We were slightly concerned right now with everything going on and the kind of financial stuff that's going on across the
Yeah.
border and
Yeah.
up here, that there would be a lot of people that backed out. But I think what we're going to see more of is you're going to see the people that buy the pass,
Yeah.
but they're going to back off on the other stuff. So maybe not as many visits to the restaurant, maybe
Yeah.
not as many chips and chocolate bars, or grabbing one less bevy after the round type thing. So we'll see how that goes. This is the first year that I've been in, more of a management role, that we've had that kind of financial crisis kind of looming behind.
So that's on your back too. Eh?
A little bit, for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, we've got, we're already fighting the clock with how short our season is.
Oh, against the snow.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. So, a year like this year where, it wasn't a terrible winter, but it seems to be dragging out just because it's not warming up as fast. I mean, today's the first day that PG's open. Pine Valley's been open for, I think, 3 weeks now.
Okay. And you guys are you still snow blowing?
We've cleared off a couple of
Yeah.
greens.
Yeah.
But we just opened the driving range on Friday. So it's slow, but it's coming, and we're kind of taking the process of, we'd rather take the extra week,
Yeah.
open up when we're in really, really good shape,
Yeah. Nice.
than rush it, be in poor shape, and have everybody upset.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
People will wait. It's just like going to a restaurant, right? You can go to McDonald's and get your meal in 5 minutes,
Mhm.
right? Or you can go to a beautiful sit-down restaurant and you're there for 3.5 hours, but it's worth the wait.
True
right.
that.
So
True that.
that's
I-
kind of how we're the approach that we're taking with it.
Nice. Well, I love Aberdeen. I love Aberdeen.
We love having you at Aberdeen.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll be there as much as I can this year when I'm around.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, you've got all sorts of invites down in the Lower Mainland now that you gotta.
Yeah, it's good.
You made so many. You got better contacts down there than I got.
Oh, I appreciate that, buddy. I'll hook you up anytime. I gotta tell a story about Steve then.
Oh, 100%.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
One day on set, we got off early. It was an 8-hour day
Yeah.
or something. And
Only 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of sun. Well, I was chipping and putting most of the day. Yeah. But there's still some sunshine, so we went to, Steve and I went to a Rupert pitch and putt.
Yep.
And I brought my, I think a 52, 56, and a putter.
Yep.
He shows up with just his 58 degree. And he had to leave after 15 holes, but he was 7 under. He was putting with his 58 degree. 7 under.
Sounds like Steve.
It's like, what the?
Blew
Blew my mind.
Unfortunately, that sounds exactly
Yeah,
like
it's
Steve.
great.
Yeah, but that's like,
Yeah.
it's just insane. Like, there's a big push on the YouTube golf side right now, right? And you and I have talked about doing a little bit of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But where, they'll get, I think I saw one with Scotty Scheffler where they're like, hey, pick the club that you think would be the easiest. And it's him versus 4 guys on one hole. And pretty much routinely the Tour Pro wins because they're just so creative
Yeah.
and they are just able to do things with that golf ball that nobody understands
And just
Right.
so consistent.
without even thinking about it. Yeah, I need to do this. Okay, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like I played volleyball obviously in high school because of my extreme height advantage at
Yeah.
5'6". But the guys that you played against, like with serving and stuff like that, like the way that they were able to drop it into, areas this big,
Oh, yeah.
right? And without even thinking about it, they're like, yeah, I want to put it there. I know exactly what I need to do. Like, it's got to be very similar to that.
Yeah.
Has
yeah,
to be.
Maybe. I like to think I'm going to be a really good golfer.
Sure.
And I am at times now. I just need to be consistent.
Well, what's your definition of a really good golfer?
Oh, well, you're one of them. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, you coach.
That's a really low bar, but
Yeah.
I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah. But last time we went golfing, well, every time we've gone golfing, you haven't been playing much at the time, and you come out, you're on point. It's good, and to be on point, you were like, correct me if I'm wrong, were you not like 2 under or maybe 1 under on the back nine last time we played or something.
When we played, I
Weren't you?
was. Yeah, I was. I think I was 2 or 3 under on the back
Maybe
nine,
3
and
under,
then
yeah,
we,
yeah.
and then we, then I started thinking about it a little bit, and everything kind of
and
collapsed.
and beverages. And
There
good
was you having a brother as a rep doesn't help that situation that much. No,
times. Always a good time.
all purchased through the golf course.
Yeah, of course.
He's very good that way.
Yeah, yeah.
But when we've got his brand available, he will make sure that his brand is available.
He's good at it, eh?
He's You need to. He'd be a good one to have on here. He'd have stories for sure.
Oh, I should. We'll get my bro on here. That makes sense.
That'd be really good.
He comes up in a lot of conversations too.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
because everybody knows as
Yeah.
much. Everybody says that everybody knows Murph, right? So many more people know Darcy just because you've been
True
in and out
that.
of town so much,
Yeah.
right? Everybody knows Darcy. Everybody
That's
that I
true.
talk to, oh, the Sleeman guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know Darcy.
Yeah, it's been a while now.
Yeah,
When did he start sleeping?
Oh, it's got-
2009 or 10 or 8?
I was gonna say it's 50. It's got to be around 15 years.
2010, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it would have been around the time. I think he was kind of starting that because that was when Sargent's closed,
Yeah.
and he kind of just transitioned directly into
So
that.
lucky, eh?
Oh,
Yeah.
opportunity. He was in that
Exactly.
business, right?
Yeah.
They needed a guy. They were expanding.
Yeah.
Who better than the guy that's already been pushing drinks?
Totally. And everybody knows him.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you were a rep for a little while too.
Yeah.
Right? Again, same thing.
Yeah.
Everybody
That was
knows
fun.
who Murph is.
Yeah, Murph the Pilsner guy.
Murph the Pilsner guy.
Yeah, that was 2007. or
Driving the
2006,
van around.
2010. Yeah. yeah. 79 Volkswagen van, 4-speed. That's when I had patience. So I learned patience. I used to rip around when I was younger, driving really fast.
Yeah, yeah.
After that, it's like.
But you're in a van.
Yeah, exactly.
You're in the Pilsner van. You got the bunny on the side.
I'm like,
yeah,
there's no rush.
No. Just
Beer-
taking beers.
Beer in the back.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
I didn't drink on the road, obviously, but cooling on ice
Yeah.
for when I stopped.
You're going to the party.
Exactly. I'm
I
bringing
can
the
take
party.
my time. Exactly.
Yeah.
I am the party.
Yeah.
Which hasn't really changed. I mean, you're still the
That's
party.
true. It just hurts
but-
the wallet more.
Oh,
It
well, now
was
you're not a
fun.
rep.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, you're not,
Wasn't
now they're
offici-
not paying for it.
True that. I wasn't officially a rep. I was this creative marketing, grassroots marketing guy. It was pretty
Rep.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, true
yeah,
that. But I didn't have to like call and get sales and do the ordering.
yeah.
and
No,
stuff.
they just hear
amazing.
whatever you got to buy. Yeah, yeah.
It was
Perfect.
actually amazing.
Yeah.
I could go to any bar or pub in
Yep.
BC territory at the time and buy their products or our products and food and whatever else.
Yeah.
Because I'm either trying to get their as a customer, promote them,
Yeah.
or I just get the brand, our brands.
Yeah.
Pilsner. It was amazing.
Definitely.
Yeah, or any Molson products at the time.
That's right. Yeah.
Sweet. Is that when we met? I guess back in like 2000. I wonder when we first met.
We didn't officially meet
Yeah.
because Ian would have been doing all of that stuff at that time.
Yeah.
We didn't officially meet until Kim and I got really serious.
Yeah. Okay.
Because then I started hanging out with Darcy and
Darcy
Heidi.
and Heidi. Yeah.
And then you were part of the package at that
Yeah,
point, which
nice.
was awesome. You and all the K-Sweeter sisters
Yeah. God bless them. They're great.
got the whole family.
Yeah. I knew of you.
Oh yeah, and I knew of you too, right?
Yeah.
Like even when I started dating Kim, she's like, "Oh yeah, this is Murph, whatever." And I was like, "Murph? Who's Murph?" And I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I
Murray.
know him.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah." Well, I'm from being in the volleyball stuff
Mhm.
and everything like that too. I mean, I
Yeah,
didn't
true.
play as high level as you did, obviously. Again, because of my
Golf.
an incredible height.
Yeah.
Um,
Of course. Yeah.
But you were always locally talked about, but especially because you had coached, right? You
Yeah.
coached one of the last CNC teams that
Oh,
had
yeah.
a volleyball
The
team,
last
right? So
one,
you,
yeah.
you coached a guy that had coached me and that I had played with, Michael O'Neill Wood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So I knew him through, he had talked about you because he had come and
Cool.
helped coach our grade 12 year and everything
Cool.
like that. So, no, it's crazy how, as much as this town's getting bigger, it just feels like it's always getting smaller because you just meet everybody.
But and there's still people to meet. It's
Oh,
nuts.
it's insane. I still get people that come up, like, you're a golfer, so you know that it's up there.
Mm.
Jeff's not a golfer, but you know that there's a restaurant up there, right?
Well, I've drank in it.
Perfect, right? I still get people that come up that are like, I didn't even know that there was a restaurant here. Excuse me?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know we could come up here. I thought you had to be golfing to eat at the restaurant. No. Come up as much as you want.
Yeah.
We 90-ish% of our business is just directly from the golf course, like for the restaurant side,
After
is directly
18.
from the golf course. After 18, before 18, at
Yeah.
the turn, whatever, going to the
Yeah.
range. I want that to drop. Right? Like
Yeah.
my official title up there right now is kind of food and bev manager. I want that to drop. I want to get more business from outside. We've got one of the best patios in town. I don't care what any
Yeah, that's true.
what any PG voting system
With the
says.
best view,
With the
100%.
best view,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah, that's just specifically what
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a couple that get voted
And good
number
food.
one. Food's fantastic.
Service great.
Services is
Good
and
beverages.
just constantly getting better,
Yeah.
right?
You have all the beverages that you even brought in Guinness for Shota, right?
Specific, not specifically for Shota, but we
But-
started carrying it a little bit heavier.
But he'd like to think that. I'm not saying he
Shota's
needs
gonna
that.
tell everybody that
Truly.
that he got it brought in.
He is the nicest guy.
Shota's a great
Oh,
guy.
he loves everybody.
I can't think of a
Everybody
single
loves
person
him.
that has ever told me that they don't like Shota Ishizawa. Not a single person.
True
Oh,
that.
Shota? Oh, love that guy.
Yeah. He's a PG local golfer, good golfer. now,
Very
too.
good golfer, and he is one of those guys that kind of around the same, like he's played for a long time, but kind of around the same time that you started doing. I know that you and Ian had talked about doing the Murray project, right,
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and kind of around that same time because you guys were playing together a little bit.
Yeah.
He kind of started to get really serious too, and his game has gotten very, very good.
Ian's?
Shota.
Oh, Shota.
Yeah,
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 okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I was
Cool.
saying when you and
Yeah.
that's kind of when he saw you kind
I
of
see,
started
yeah.
to take it a little bit more seriously. All of a sudden, that switch kind of
Oh,
flipped
really?
in him. Oh
Nice.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's cool because we played 30 rounds together or so.
Yeah.
And he taught me a lot.
Yeah,
So probably
he's
in
a
that
good
process
player.
of coaching
For sure.
made
Yeah,
him
yeah.
focus more. Cause,
Yeah.
his
He works a
stroke
lot
was-
with Ian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, Ian's good. Ian's got a
He's a
beautiful swing. Too.
very good teacher, very good swing.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that, and I've said this for forever, for as long as I've known him. Like he could have went down and probably played somewhere competitive. Maybe not tour level, like PGA Tour level, but he could have probably been at the time, a Nike Tour. I think at one
Wow.
point the web.com, like he could have nationwide. He could have been somewhere in that bubble for sure. I think he's got he goes out, like you talk about me, oh yeah, he came out and you shot this or whatever.
3 under on the back nine. At
3 under on the
Aberdeen.
back nine to
Super
shoot
tough.
to shoot 1 under total, right? And he's one of those guys that goes out, doesn't touch a club all year, plays very rarely, and he'll go out there and he'll shoot 74 in his sleep,
Yeah. That's
right?
unreal.
Like just on pure instinct,
Yeah.
right?
As a lefty
So,
too.
Yeah, which is a big demerit,
Yeah.
being a lefty.
Is it the way golf courses are set up? Is it harder for them?
No, I mean I'm
No.
just saying it because righties hack on lefties and lefties
Oh, yeah,
hack
yeah.
on righties all the
Fair
time.
enough.
There's some golf courses that like you'll hear if you watch enough golf. For those of you that don't watch golf, I'm sorry about this vein of the conversation, but you'll hear them talk about how this sets up really well for a lefty. This sets up really well for a
Oh,
righty.
yeah.
This hole sets up well for a guy that fades the ball, that draws the ball, right? I remember looping back to Grandpa. I remember
yeah.
being with him in Hawaii right after I graduated, and he designed 95% of Aberdeen Glen.
Oh wow, your grandpa did.
My grandpa did.
Okay.
There was no, he didn't bring in a designer. There was,
Wow.
sorry, I'll rephrase that. He brought in a designer that wanted to do the whole golf course, and he said, no, I've got the golf course covered. I just want you to do the greens.
Cool.
And as a golfer, right,
Yeah.
you know that there's a lot of name recognition that comes with having a good designer,
Yeah.
right? Like in Surrey, Northview,
Okay.
right? They've got 18
Heard of
holes
it.
designed by Arnold Palmer.
Oh nice.
Right, and they say that this is the
Wow.
Arnold Palmer designed Northview. I think it's the Ridge course.
Wow.
Right, so that brings a certain cachet.
And price tag. Yeah.
Absolutely. So this gentleman had come in and he said, "Well, if I don't get to design the whole thing, then I don't want my name on it." And that was
Wow.
fine. He said,
Yeah.
"Yeah, that's okay. It's Prince George. Nobody's really gonna.
Yeah.
It's up north. Nobody's really gonna care." So he would he would come up and he just did the greens. That's all he did. So he would come up and, they'd kind of go over plans for these 3 greens. My grandpa would go, okay. And we had an excellent team of, obviously the way that Aberdeen's laid out, we had an excellent team of earth movers and guys that had done
Yeah, it's unreal.
a lot of city services and stuff like that. So
Really?
they know how to
Okay.
work with grade and all of that kind of stuff. And they would build the greens, and then he'd come up for the next 3. He'd kind of check those 3, go, yep, this is good. They'd do the next 3, and then he'd leave and then come back and leave and come
Consultant.
back. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
So he wasn't the designer, but he was the greens consultant.
Yeah. But a big bill attached to that, I'm assuming too. Wow.
You know what? I'm sure it was. Like, I'm sure it wasn't free, obviously, but I don't think it would have been as much as if he would have done the entire thing because now his
Yeah.
name's not attached to it. If your
Oh,
name's
yeah.
attached to it, you're going to want something,
That's true.
right? Like Jack Daniels isn't, like that name is worth something, right? So you can charge whatever you want for it,
Yeah.
right? Same with this designer, right? Yeah, I can charge whatever I want for it because you want me to do the whole golf course.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I want you to just do the greens.
And he had a vision.
Okay. He knew exactly what he wanted.
Yeah, and I heard he had a vision for community too, and like
Oh yeah.
accessibility. So he actually will allow jeans, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So like he wasn't super strict.
And this is all just abject rumors,
Yeah.
right? And I'm sure that there's a kernel of truth there, but
Yeah.
what the rumor that has been populous
Yeah.
was that he had gone down to the golf and curling club in jeans and a golf shirt, all that kind of stuff, and they had turned him away. So that out of spite, he built a golf course. And that is
Okay.
just patently not true.
I've heard that story.
Yeah, of course, everybody has, right? And it's just patently not true. I don't think that being turned away for not having an appropriate dress code would cause somebody to be so spiteful
To build their own.
to build their own golf course, right? That's a multi-million-dollar investment because you wouldn't let me wear my jeans, right? But he spent a ton of time researching. He spent a lot of time down in the kind of in the Pacific Northwest and into Arizona and Nevada and stuff like that. He actually eventually wound up buying a place down in Palm Springs.
Oh, nice.
At a golf course down there. But he spent a lot of time researching it because if he was going to do it, he wanted to do it right.
Yeah.
And I remember being in, after I graduated, him and I and two others went to Hawaii.
Nice.
And we were talking and we're on this hole and they had a bunker short right on, I think it was like the fifth hole or something like that. And he had hit one in there. Hit a high weak slice into there, and he goes, "That has got to be the dumbest place to put a bunker." And I go, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "That's where your ball went." I mean, like obviously, cocky 18-year-old thinks he's a tour pro, right? Well, you don't hit your ball there. He goes, "No, 90% of golfers, it's gotten less, but at that time, 90% of golfers, 85% of golfers are right-handed, and 90% of that 90% hit the ball from left to right." Left to right usually comes up short. Left to right usually doesn't roll out much. So to put as many hazards as this particular golf course had, short right was making it less enjoyable for the golfers. So that's why, like at our place, there's some that are there, absolutely, but they're there to punish shots from poor angles. Like on hole number one.
Yeah.
Right, we've got a bunker that's short right, but if you play that hole the way that it's designed to be played, so you hit it to the middle, down to the 100-yard marker,
then-
that's not
then
really
back
in
up.
play,
Yeah.
right? But the one long left is.
We always try to
Right.
go for it on two
As you should.
over the trees. Yeah.
As you should, especially now that those trees aren't, like, you remember, and this would have been kind of right when you were getting into it, but they used to have that 5 or 6 trees
Yeah.
that were right along that ridge, and now there's a
Yeah.
couple of them that are gone. So it's
Okay,
gotten
nice.
far easier to
Nice.
go after that over the last 2 or 3 years, just because they weren't they get hit, right? So they get injured, all
Oh,
that kind of
yeah.
stuff. So it has cleared out a little bit up there, but we were looking at some old actually just before you texted me, we were looking at some old pictures, and the amount of foliage and flora that has grown up there is just insane. Like you look at pictures from 15 years ago, it's all of a sudden it's unrecognizable.
Really?
Oh yeah.
It's gorgeous now.
Oh, it's
eh?
beautiful. I love it up there, and like you were talking about with the community and everything, right? He had a very clear mind and a very clear picture of this is how it's going to go. This is what's going to kind of function into this, and then this will funnel into that area, and it's turned into one of the, in my opinion, one of the most desirable places to live in Prince George.
Yeah, I agree. I would love that.
Right, and there's a lot of people that in this town, right, and I know that you know this because you've lived here for so long, or that's where your mailing address is,
Yeah.
anyways. That going across that bridge, the John Hart Bridge, is too far
For a lot of people.
for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I can't. You'll drive. They'll drive to Walmart
Yeah.
from the exact same spot, but no, going up there is too far.
Oh, it's a different town up there. than
Oh,
Hart.
100%, absolutely. Well,
Hart Boy.
yeah, right. And your family's out on the other end.
Yeah.
Right, Darcy
Darcy loves
and
College
Heidi,
Heights now,
right?
yeah.
And they love College Heights because
Yeah.
everything's close. I get that. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. But Darcy will also say, "That's not that far. It's
True.
5 minutes."
True,
Right?
yeah.
Like from Earls, I time it every year. From Earls, which is what I consider kind of the center of town,
Yeah.
right?
15th and Central.
15th Central, yeah. It's like 8 minutes to our gates. That's
like
not
the
that
speed
long.
limit. Yeah.
At the speed limit and probably hitting the light on Fifth.
Yeah.
Right? That's not that far. I'm sorry.
Grabbing a coffee on the way at Timmy's on the
Yeah,
fifth.
exactly. Yeah, because it's an easy in and out there.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, he had a very clear mindset for what was going to go in there, and I think the only thing that he kind of missed a beat on was the restaurant approach, like the clubhouse.
But now it's great.
It is, but I
Yeah.
think it should have been bigger.
Oh, like, okay. Fair
Right,
enough.
for us to be able to facilitate bigger events
Yeah.
and do all that kind of stuff. I
More
just
room
think that-
inside.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean we can get about 155 people up there for a tournament and that kind of thing.
Seating outside. and
Seating,
everything,
yeah, and you're jamming it, right?
Yeah.
But anything over that, we kind of wind up losing out to
PG?
other,
Or-
PG
yeah.
for sure, but other venues, right? So they'll come
Yeah.
up, they'll do the golf up there, but then they'll go have dinner somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, which is, I mean, it's not great, but because they're still doing their booze sales and everything like that through us. But to have that dinner really solidifies a good day,
Yeah, that's true.
right, for us.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I like the after round pints as well.
yeah, after round
Yeah.
pints are good.
Yeah, absolutely, which we'll have to do again soon.
Well,
We've done it
if you're ever
annually.
going to be in town,
I
yeah,
know, eh? Well, we'll plan something and I'll come up for it.
yeah, no, definitely, yeah.
And we'll get around and things.
For sure. Well, I know I talked to Darcy. I'm trying to talk him into being a little more active on the
Yeah.
men's night thing, but
Yeah,
he's got his vacation schedule planned 3 years in advance. That guy.
just
So.
gotta get it approved. I shouldn't talk about that. Cut.
Oh yeah, we're not. Yeah, I tell him that all the time too because he was going to. There's a tournament in Nevada. It's the Nevada State Open, and it's in Mesquite. It's about an hour outside of Vegas. So you fly into Vegas. It's a 3-day tournament.
Awesome.
If you make the cut, it's a 3-day tournament. Just an individual, just solo dude. But your hotel room's covered, like it's included in the fee and everything like that. And I told him, I was like, hey man, come down with me.
That'd
And
be
he-
amazing for him.
It'd be a blast. And
Yeah.
he goes, I can't. We already booked. I already used all my vacation days.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's what you get for planning 2 years in advance.
They
He's
really
like,
do too.
Oh, 100% they do. Well, because it's brilliant. Like I'm hacking on the two of them, but it's brilliant
Really is.
because they're using it for. They're using all of the points. They're using all of the they're maximizing their return on investment.
Oh yeah, Heidi's a magician.
She's a phenomenal at that, and I
Yeah.
hack on her because she's way better at it than I am.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah, her wedding was the week before, or whatever it was.
It got canceled.
Canceled.
Cuba, right?
Yeah.
Was where it got canceled from.
Well, that's where we ended up going, but I don't know if it was. Yeah, we ended up going Cuba on the
Yeah,
beach.
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know where it was before that. I forget.
Yeah,
But she
I
was
knew
a-
that Cuba was involved, but it might have been Mexico
Maybe,
or something like that.
maybe. Yeah, she
Yeah.
stepped up and planned the whole thing in 5 days.
I didn't know you guys then, but I've heard that story every Christmas when we wind up coming up to
Yeah.
Heidi and Darcy's place. That story. Oh, remember this? Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't there,
Well,
but
that
I
was
know.
right before you guys started dating, right?
When did they get married?
14 years or something, 15 years.
Yeah, so that was 5 or 6 years before Kim and I
Okay, yeah.
started. Kim and I have been
Yeah.
together for this year is 8 years of marriage, so we've been together for 10.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
which is crazy.
And she was one of your crushes when you were
Careful.
young, right? Yeah.
Careful. Yeah, no, she was. She worked at the golf course.
Yeah.
She's 9 years older than I am.
Because that's the girl you wanted, right? Like that's
Oh yeah,
like you had a crush on her for
There
years,
was-
and then you
yeah,
went 4 years.
When I
later.
was 12 years old,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's awesome.
as a dumb 11 pre-pubescent or going through puberty.
That's awesome.
Right? It was one of those things where I was like, yeah, wow, she's amazing. And then we would run into again
Yeah.
Prince George, right, and
Yeah.
being in the golf community, and then she wound up we wound up crossing paths, and the rest is history.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Cool, buddy.
yeah, that was a long-term plan.
Yeah.
I executed
it's
it
awesome.
perfectly.
I love
yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly.
I love it. Okay, so we've gone through your long-term plan, where you're from.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
your grandpa's long-term plan with Aberdeen, which he
Mhm.
successfully done.
Yeah, I would say I would
Made-
call it a success.
Very,
Yeah.
very successful.
Yeah.
Made a community up there. It's a gorgeous course. We talked
Absolutely.
about the tournaments. I think I skipped past. Well, I interrupted you when you were talking about one of the tournaments. So the Brown Ridge, the men's twos, the women's twos.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, yeah. Brown Ridge, Men's Open, Ladies Two Ball,
Yeah.
Ironman,
Yeah.
and then we do we host a lot of the corporate charity events. Like we have
Oh,
the
yeah,
Spirit
nice.
of the North one, or
Nice.
sorry, the Commonwealth one is up there, and then we've also got the Kodiaks. The
Okay.
football team does theirs up there
Nice.
as well. CIM, which is the Canadian Institute of Metallurgy, they do theirs up there every year as well. So no, we have a very big slate of tournaments, and we try and the balance point in Prince George is that because you've got a short season, you don't want to overbook yourself with tournaments,
Yeah.
because then all the
Then
pass
other
holders
weekends.
and them,
Oh,
they lose
yeah.
their tournaments. So
Oh,
we
yeah.
try and book a lot of those big corporate ones for weekdays.
Oh, nice.
Right, we'll shut down for a Tuesday, we'll
Good
shut
call.
down for a Wednesday, whatever, so that we can make sure that we keep our busiest days for the members, for the pass holders. We don't have
Yeah.
members, but for the people that invest the money up there,
Yeah.
right? We'll make sure that we keep that, and then a Tuesday, your average Tuesday is going to be far less than what your average Saturday is going to be. So let's boost that Tuesday up by having the Commonwealth,
Smart.
right?
Yeah.
And Ian's phenomenal with that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah,
He-
yeah.
He's very numbers oriented, and he knows how to get the best, how to stretch, how to get the best out of every single corner of it in there.
Yeah.
So we're very very lucky to have him up there for sure.
That's great. Hopefully he's
Yeah.
long term. Seems like he is. He's married.
Married with a kid.
Yeah.
His wife has a very good job in town, right?
Yeah.
At both of those places, and I don't want to give away too much. I don't want people
Yeah.
finding out where they are.
Yeah.
But no, it seems like he's invested long term, which is good.
Yeah.
He's been there for. It's got to be close to. He's got to be creeping up on his 25th year here. I think.
wow.
I think he was there in 2003 or 2004,
Okay.
if I remember right. So he's getting close to 25, I think,
Wow.
which is a long time to be with any company.
Yeah. So he's earned his stripes.
Oh, and he
Okay.
kind of got thrown into the fire a little bit too. The pro that had hired him, and actually Dave, who is now the GM of the Golf and Curling Club, they
Yeah.
came in Ian and Dave came in at the same time, and then the pro had just he had pursued other opportunities, and so Ian went from kind of one season of being an assistant pro to kind of, all right, well, here you get to run the whole operation now, good luck.
Good for him.
Right, and he knocked it out of the park.
Yeah. Nice.
Right, I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot to ask of a person who was just kind of fresh out of college,
Young
right?
guy,
Young
yeah.
guy, right? But he grabbed the reins with both hands and just kind of held on and rode it out. So
Yeah.
it's been good having him and Dwayne as well. I mean, Dwayne's been
Yeah.
there
Oh, yeah.
for 20
Run-
years now,
running the
almost
kitchen.
too, running the kitchen.
Yeah.
And that was a big one because for the first, say, 6 years, we kind of had a different chef every year because we would lay him off in the winter.
Oh yeah.
And we kind of got to the point where we went, you know what? Every year we've got somebody new coming in telling them that we need that, and now we have to adapt the kitchen to what they want, and that's every year. So you do, and we looked at the books, and I mean, at that point I was 15, but my dad and the decision makers kind of looked at the books and went, you know what we need to do? We need to get somebody, keep them on the payroll year round,
Yeah.
because we can't. You
That's
lose
nice.
consistency, you lose productivity, because it's like, oh well, if I'm being let go at the end of the year, I can just leave halfway through if I get a better offer.
Oh yeah. And you'll
Right.
be looking the whole time.
For
too.
sure, right? So if you have somebody that you've kind of locked down, which Dwayne, also a local guy, owns his house in town. He's a Prince
Nice.
George born and bred,
Yeah.
right? So he's a good guy to have up there, because again, used to work at JJ's and
BX
all of those
maybe
kind of
too?
BX for
Yeah,
sure.
That's
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I first met him. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah. BX.
Yeah, and he's
Cool.
so again one of those guys that everybody knows.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's good to
Yeah.
have those guys because they bring people with them.
Yeah. That's true.
So
Cool. You have a good crew up
there. We have a great crew. We've
Yeah.
got. I think that we've got, if not the best, one of the best customer service crews in all of Prince George, if not
Yeah.
further. Right. Everybody up there cares. Darlene.
And they remember
Right.
our names and stuff. It's cool. Yeah. Darlene's great.
Darlene's fantastic, and she might not remember your name, but she knows exactly
Yeah.
who you are.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because there's times where I'll be down there because I'm not in the pro shop anymore. Where I'll be down there and somebody will leave and she'll go, oh, what's their name again? And I'll
Yeah.
say it and she'll go, oh, right, that's so and so's cousin who was married to this person. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't know their name, but you know their entire genealogy.
Yeah.
Awesome. But she's fantastic. Yeah, I think we've got one of the best crews up there,
Yeah.
especially for being kind of a seasonal rotation, right? To get the same good members back, or the good staff members back every
Yeah.
year is huge.
Yeah. I could agree. And can we talk about the rumor? I just saw it on social media. The rumor that it was getting sold or something. No.
So every couple years that rumor surfaces.
Which is that Aberdeen's being sold.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Every couple years that rumor surfaces, especially after we have, a good year or something like
Yeah.
that. Well, now that they're going to sell at the top, everything like that. And after my grandpa passed away, those rumors just spiked,
Oh, for
right?
sure,
Because he was the owner, he was the creator, he was right. So those rumors just jumped through the roof, and finally got to the point where we were being asked. I was almost being asked every day by somebody that I saw, "Hey, are you guys for sale? What's going on?" And our thought process was that it could potentially affect past sales,
Yeah.
people coming up, because
If it's not locally owned.
there's not
Yeah.
just that, but what if somebody shuts it down, turns it into a 9-hole golf course, and wants to make it all development,
Oh, yeah.
right? Not that I think that would ever happen, but if
But-
somebody buys it, we can't control that.
Yeah.
Right? So, there's been, in the last decade, there's been a lot of turmoil in the north with that. Quesnel's gone through a couple of ownerships, and now they have a good group of people that live in Quesnel, that are invested in Quesnel, that own it, that have kind of kept it there. I know that 108 has gone through some turmoil the last few years with ownership and everything like that. And it has, we've been watching that because that's kind of our barometer, right? The smaller courses are what we kind of base some of our decisions on when it comes to when to post things and social media stuff. And I saw last year that there was a post about 108 saying our memberships are for sale for next year, buy now to get this year's pricing. And there's a bunch of comments on there, don't buy, we don't know if they're shutting down or not, we don't know what's going on, we're hearing all these rumors. And I brought that to my dad, the owner now, and he kind of goes, I think we need to address on our end. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be a long, drawn-out thing, but
Perfect,
I think that
yeah.
we did a couple of paragraphs basically saying that it's all rumors. We're community-owned, everything like that, and not community-owned. We're locally owned, and always have been, and
Yeah.
and
Oh.
always, hopefully, always will be.
Always intend to.
Right?
Yeah.
Always intend to. We've had
Yeah.
25 great years. We're looking forward to the next 25, and
Yeah.
and
awesome.
beyond.
Okay.
So
I love it.
yeah,
Well, obviously, I'd love to, and the community would love to have you here for the next 25 years.
yeah, that'd be
But,
great.
which is awesome. But
Yeah.
what if there's, because I know you're a golfer in the past, and you still are a golfer, but now your passion is coaching and running
For sure.
the golf
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
So if you could do one thing, and you knew you couldn't fail, and money was no object.
So define fail for me.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
Like,
good
are
point.
are you guaranteeing that I'm going to succeed at what I'm doing,
Yeah,
or are
you're-
you saying that there's no bottom? Like I can chase this for as long as I want, and there's no negative repercussions.
Sure, maybe both.
Okay.
You're hit your
Well,
goal.
if it's I
Yeah.
can't fail, then obviously,
Yeah.
like my big thing would be to, I would have two probably. I mean, I know that's a cop out, but personally, it would be to go back down south and kind of chase that tour dream again, right? And
Okay.
if you're telling me that I'm going to make it, then that's
Yeah.
obviously the
Yeah.
easiest solution. Because
You're gonna win some huge tournament, and then you're right in,
and then you're done,
Yeah.
right? And then you're, playing this weekend looking for a green jacket.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of it, I would love to, like, as more of a community, I guess, oriented goal, or idea would be to take Aberdeen to the absolute nth level that it could be,
nice.
right? And you and I talked off camera about that a little bit, right? But I would like, prior to COVID, right? And this rumor has gotten around a little bit, but I don't think anybody realizes how close we actually were to it. But we were, I think you and I have talked about this too with Darcy. We were shortlisted. We basically had a Canadian tour event that was going to come there,
Yeah.
which was phenomenal. We had
Yeah.
their crew come out kind of the fall before, and they told us how we would have to. There was two big things that we had to change. We had to hole number 6, the par 3.
Okay. Yeah.
The
Before
mound,
yeah.
the mounds had to come out,
Okay.
which are gone now.
Yeah, they
So
are,
that's a
yeah.
positive. And then the other thing that had to happen was that number 4, the hard dog leg right,
Yeah,
would have to
yeah.
be turned into a par 3, because we can't have them go pitching wedge, pitching wedge.
Wow. So would you have to clear that corner of trees or something?
No, well, two options. Either we clear the corner,
Yeah.
and the option that we were going to go for was we were going to build the tee box kind of down below next to the bunkers on 3.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So below
Makes
the
sense.
red, which makes it a it's like a 180-yard par 3, and it
Uphill.
narrow with
Yeah.
bunkers it's designed to be played as a par 4, but now we're going to make you hit a 5 iron.
Yeah.
Right, for you and I. For those guys, it's a 7 iron. But now you got to hit this shot to a super narrow green that was designed
Bunkers.
to be hit from from the 100-yard marker, not from diagonal to it.
Yeah.
So we were shortlisted for that, and then I mean, it was a good thing because COVID hit, so we wouldn't have gotten it anyways, or it wouldn't have come to fruition anyways.
So you would have put all this money on changing it, and then
Exactly. So we, the big hindrance there was that it's you need to locally raise $500,000. That's what the sponsorship is to pay out the field. They obviously kick some in, the Canadian Tour does, but you have to have $500,000 thereabouts to host, right? So that's like, so it'd be like the Canadian Tire, Aberdeen, whatever, right? Like you're not getting that out of Sleeman Breweries, right?
True.
They're not going to do. They're going to do a multinational brand switch for $500,000. So that just wasn't in the cards for us at that point. And then when COVID hit, anyways, we just kind of counted it as a blessing because the golf course was busier than it ever had been. Right, that first year after post COVID was our second year. So 2021 was our busiest ever year because we didn't start until later with the first year because we had to wait until like the beginning of June or something like that, which was awesome because the course was we still had our employees out there working and everything like that safely.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But you know, being able to come out in that good a shape, and then that just carried into the next year, and we kind of haven't looked back since.
It's just gorgeous now.
Oh, it's phenomenal, and they're always making changes. I mean, you've followed the Facebook page and everything like that, so we've done a lot of little things, right? We're not dumping a whole pile of capital into a lot of things, but it's making all the little things that make the big things stand out more.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Getting the range figured out a little bit better.
The new range balls last year or the year before.
Again, going
That's
back
hard.
to...
That's a tough topic because I know they get sniped.
Oh, for sure.
That sucks. People do that.
People.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's out of 100 people, it's 15 that are ruining it for everybody.
Exactly.
Right?
There's one that's I don't know. I'll tell the story, but the pitch and putt green. I love spending time down there.
Oh, down below, yeah.
And then I may have been peeing just down off the side, you know, but where nobody could see me. But
Yeah.
there's a bucket down there, like little, and full of those good balls.
Yeah.
So somebody probably just was going to snipe them after the round or whatever. So obviously I took that bucket and threw it right back in. Hit
Well,
'em.
that's because you're an all-star, and that's why we like having you up there.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah.
My favorite story about that, and was one of my first years in the pro shop, so it would have been 17 or 18. And I'm standing there, guy comes in, yeah, I'll get a round, cart, and a bucket of balls. You tee off in like 15 minutes. Yeah, I'm just going to go down and whack. Me and my buddy are going to split them. It's like, oh, okay. So he goes down, uses his tokens, gets the bucket of balls, and then puts the full basket, doesn't hide them, puts them in the basket of his cart and drives to the first tee. So he drives by, and I look at Dar, and I go, Darlene, do you see what she goes? Is that a full basket of balls? So she goes out there with, I think at that time it was like $6 for a large bucket. So she goes out there with a 5 and a loonie. And he goes, well, no, I want to use them on the course. She's like, that's not how this works. But they're way cheaper at the. Yeah, because we get them back. That's why they're cheaper. So she gives him the $6 back, and he comes in and buys a dozen, whatever the cheapest golf balls we had. And then he came in after 9 and bought another dozen. So he needed the bucket, but. It's just one of those things where, where there is a little bit of entitlement with that, and you know, we try to crack down on it as much as we can. But you're never going to stop everybody. I don't care.
Exactly.
It's like work. It's like at the bar, right? Yeah, you try and keep everybody else's outside booze out as much as you can, but you're never going to catch everybody. If you can catch 80% of them, you're winning.
Yeah.
Not saying that anybody should go out there and steal our golf balls, but you know,
Please don't.
Within a week of what's the range at Alder Hills called now? The Lounge.
I don't know.
I think that because they had the Top Golf thing.
Yeah, that's
right.
Cool, yeah.
But all those golf balls are chipped.
Because you get hit in
So that pardon?
Oh, there's chips, so you could.
I think
really?
That's the rumor that I heard. I don't know 100%.
Yeah.
But they're chipped, or there's some sort of. They're branded with the range on it at the very least.
Yeah.
And within a week of them opening, there was like I was teaching a lesson and I dumped it out, and there was like 15 the Lounge golf balls in our bucket. So somebody had taken them from there. Or picked them off of the back of the range, and then brought them out to Aberdeen to hit at the driving range.
Oh wow!
I'm just like,
come on,
really? okay, I guess that's what people are doing now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those would be circling back. Those would be my two things. Is that if I'd be able to get myself set up down in Arizona or something like
Yeah.
that, and we talked about it off camera a little bit.
Yeah.
You gave me a little bit of heads up on this. But it's hey, you got 5 years and as much, or 10 years, or whatever the barometer is, and you got as much money as you want, and you can chase this for these 10 years. But at 10 years, you're done. That's what I would do. 110%.
That's awesome. Boom, focus on
Yeah,
that.
100%.
Still be like a consultant with the course or something. Be involved with the course.
I would
obviously.
try to be
Yeah.
right as much as I could, but
Yeah.
if things are going well, then I'm not gonna have time to do that.
Oh, yeah, true that.
Right?
You could
I
be the
mean,
celebrity, come back.
I'd be
do
the
that.
there's a role that I don't know, was Illyrian Zolly at any of your guys' stuff on stick?
Oh, is that the female?
No,
No.
you're thinking of Steph
Oh, the.
Who's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
is amazing.
Vanderpaw.
Yeah.
No, so Illyrian is a professional golfer. Canadian.
Okay.
And he is playing on the Challenge Tour, which is the European Tour, DP World Tour's
Oh,
feeder
nice.
tour. So he's a very, very good player. But he had a role with the Richmond Country Club, where he was their club club ambassador or something like that. So they sponsored him. He got to play and practice out there for free. They covered his tournament fees and stuff like that. But he
Awesome.
wore the Richmond Country Club logo. So whenever he won a tournament, and he won 8, I think, one season on the
Wow.
VGT, Richmond Country Club sitting right
Nice.
there on his chest. So when everything goes out, Richmond Country Club.
So-
And he would have, and there was obviously some members things that they had to do where he probably had to do some clinics and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But it was just it was a way for them to kind of give a fledgling, tour pro an opportunity.
Support. That's a
Support,
huge
right?
opportunity, Yeah.
On the books, not just, you
Yeah.
can play and practice out here for free.
Yeah.
But then also be able to turn that into some sort of notoriety for them. So maybe that would be, if I had the opportunity, that would be my title at the
Yeah.
golf course. I could be the club ambassador.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna show my perspective too.
I like
throw it out there.
Yeah.
So, you're doing your thing for the next 10 years,
Yep.
golfing, becoming
Yep.
like really awesome, and
Yep.
being a pro. I am, which you already are awesome, obviously. But then I'm chasing my acting dream, but golfing as much as I possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
Golfing with my buddies down south, up here, lots of good golfers around.
Tons.
And then, so I'm successful TV and film.
Yeah.
And then eventually and commercials. Eventually I'll just be asked. I won't have to audition so much,
Yeah.
Like they know who I am. Okay, do you want your name in this hat? Yes. Okay, I'll be one of the
Yeah.
picks, hopefully. So in 10 years, when you've got all your trophies and the green jacket and whatever
Yeah.
you got, and then that'd be cool to have a bus. Because I did have a bus for a bit. I do have
Yeah.
this dream. I would love to have like a bus with seating for 8 or 12 or
Mhm.
whatever, or at least 2 foursomes and the
Yeah.
driver, and then have a little studio, and you could go promote courses, go course to course in BC or whatever, and then
Yeah.
eventually go global. So maybe 10 years from now, when we're both successful in our own ways.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we'll see how this area, the space that we're in right now,
Yeah.
the space that we're utilizing of the larger space,
Yeah.
you could probably fit this in the back of a bus
Yeah, exactly, right?
very
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you could do
Yeah.
that.
Jeff's a magician. He could make it
I
work.
believe it. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
we got to bring Jeff too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
he's-
in. Then
oh,
I'm
yeah.
then I'm sold.
For
I'm in.
sure.
Jeff's
Alright.
coming. I'm in.
All right, buddy.
Love it.
Well, I know we could talk forever, but I think this is this
That's pretty much an hour, bud. You nailed it.
Jesse, thanks, brother.
Good to see you, buddy. Thank you
good to
very
see
much.
Too. Looking forward to golfing again.
Yeah, absolutely. I like it.